thoughts on the PS5, Sony PlayStation. I have played every Sony PlayStation since the very first one. And I figured, well, I should talk about this. I don't see myself as a gamer, although I look the part, right? Everyone looks at me and says, oh, well, he's a nerd, he's a gamer, he probably plays every single day. Well, one, I don't have any particular system set up to my TV. I do have a Super Nintendo Classic, which has a bunch of games on it, but I don't have it plugged in, and I don't use it every day. Actually, I use it maybe once every month or two, or three. Whenever maybe there's some sort of event, I'll hook it up, but I'm not really a gamer, so I just want to preface all of this discussion with the fact that I'm not really a gamer, but I have actually played PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1. I've played it all fairly religiously, although as I've gotten older, I've played less and less and less. PS4, I barely really played. PS3, played a little bit more. PS2, highly addictive. PS1, yeah, I got into it. So, if I'm looking at what they've released, Sony has released a digital edition and an edition with a disc. Now, nowadays, you can get everything digitally, right? So you can play any game that you really want digitally. I'm sure you could play a PS1 game on there, PS2 game, PS3 game, PS4 game, PS5 game. So you could do it all. Now, the actual device, the design, it looks like an alien thing, like a little spaceship with maybe mixed in with like a peanut butter sandwich. It kind of looks like this. It's like a book with something in it, you know? If a book were white on the outside and black on the inside, black pages, white cover, that's basically the PS5. I'm just throwing ideas out here. So there's a different design, right? And in comparison, you got the Xbox thing. I don't know what it's called. Xbox Series X Plus, whatever. A bizarre name. And that's like a box. It's a cube, right? Every time I look at like a simple industrial design, I do actually appreciate it. What I find odd about these devices is they're all marketed as like these stand-up things. Like you'd have it standing up, but most people have like bookshelves, right? They're like horizontal, right? And the way that these like TV units are designed is that you typically have the PlayStation laying flat, right? Horizontal. That's basically how it is. And I rarely have ever seen somebody have it standing up, unless it's weirdly off to the side, so it's connected off the unit, right? You've decided you're going to plug it in to the side of the unit, right? You can have it standing on its own. The most bizarre way of doing things is if you have a TV unit, you're going to have the thing sitting in the bookshelf. And you know what? It's not going to fit if it's standing up, unless you've got those, like my bookshelf, I could probably fit it in, but if it's too tall, it might actually not. But basically, 9 times out of 10, every TV unit is perfectly designed for a horizontal unit. So for whatever reason, every single time they promote this, actually PS4 was designed with kind of a look that it would be horizontal. This thing looks like it was designed to be standing up. It's not symmetrical whatsoever if it's laying down. It has a very unique asymmetrical design. It's got some interesting curves to it. So the design itself, it's different, right? You can certainly lay it horizontal and it'll be fine. What I think is really good, finally, is that they have like a solid state drive in this thing. And now the whole thing is a powerhouse. This PlayStation is a powerhouse. But I like the fact that they use like a solid state drive, which I think is really good for speed. Hard drives are just slow, and I feel like hard drives shouldn't even exist anymore. So anything that you're running in terms of a device, it should have like flash storage or solid state. I just feel like those are just way faster, and with storage and everything, you can make it work. The reason why I don't feel like I would buy this thing is because, one, I'm really not into gaming. Two, I would probably become extremely addicted to this and wouldn't really accomplish anything in the real world by having a PS5. So for me, I should just not have it. That's the other thing. And I'm not really into big, expensive, fancy, new games. Like, I've never actually been into top-notch, high-quality graphics games. I actually like the simple, old-school games. This is why I have the Super Nintendo Classic. I like the PS1 and PS2 games more than the games that came with the PS3, PS4. Like, I like the older games. And that's why I don't see any point in having the new one. Because, well, you'd have to fork over a lot for every new game, right? This is where Sony makes their money. They don't make the money so much on the console. They make money on you buying the games. That's where they make the money. So it's in the best interest of these companies to sell at a low price. Although I would estimate that the PS5 will be at least $4.99 Canadian. I just feel like that would be the bare minimum, because I remember the PS3 was like $6.99 when it came out. $6.99. I feel like this is going to be, expensive. Sony has made it clear that they're pushing value, not price. So what does that mean? That means it's probably going to be expensive. It's going to be more expensive than the Xbox. In terms of marketing, Sony has really done a good job here. I mean, really, this is the big thing that they have going for them, is the PlayStation. This is their main product, okay? Their phones don't really do that well. Their cameras, their SLR cameras, they have a certain niche, right? So they have a little bit of a business there. But this PlayStation is really their top-notch product. This is what gets them out there in the real world. Although I think they're promoting like an electric car as well right now, so we could see something change with Sony. But they're kind of a bizarre company in that they're kind of dabbling in a bunch of things. They have movies that come out, like they have a lot of different things going on. But their PlayStation is like how people really kind of connect with them. So they need to do a good job with this particular model. Where was I going with all of this? Well, the marketing. So the marketing of all of what they've been doing has been incredible, right? So they do these little small launches, and I think it's unique because a lot of people aren't really stagnating these things, but they released the controller for the PlayStation, which is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it seems, these days. But the controller was released, and that created some buzz. Actually, it started off with like the name, the release of the logo. The fancy 5. It's really quite simple. You just type the 5. Interesting logo, which the logo that we basically all know. So they do these little releases, and then the technical details, some of the technical info on the device, and they did the more recent product launch. So it's just interesting how they stagnated all of these different components. And I think what they've done here is brilliant in terms of marketing. And it shows. A lot more people are talking about the PlayStation than Microsoft's Xbox. And I expect that we'll see more sales of the PlayStation. So I find it all very fascinating how it's all being put together. This could be the first PlayStation that I don't end up buying, just because, our family still has the PS3, So that's our only PlayStation that we have right now. Everything else we've sold, right? And the PlayStation 3 is still like doing it for us. Like, it covers everything. PS4, it's actually unnecessary compared to the PS3. If you had the PS3, you didn't actually need the PS4 unless you're really into the latest and greatest games. But PS3, backwards compatible with a lot of the different games if you got the original one. We got the original model. It was like $6.99 when it came out. We paid that, and it was expensive, but it's held up, right? Ever since when it was released, 2007? Is it 2007? It's like 13 years of dedicated PS3, and it still works. And it's a machine. And I don't see any of these devices really replacing it, unless you really, really, really want the latest games. Then yeah, you need to have the latest PlayStation. But for me, I just see myself passing on this one as well, because honestly, the PS5 is fancy and all, but I'm not really much of a gamer anymore. So have a discussion with like the real gamers though, and they will tell you that it's really cool, and they're looking forward to it, right? Any gamer is probably just excited to have a new system, because PlayStation 4 came out, I think, 2013, and along the way I think they released a Pro model. So it's been a few years, right? It's like 7 years since that console. Seems like every 6-7 years they have a new kind of console coming out, but it's like, okay, well, if you like the simple classic games, you're probably not going to be interested in this one. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I'm sure a lot of gamers will buy it, and it's good. It's good fun, I guess. If it's your kind of thing, it's a nice little hobby, as long as it doesn't consume your days. That's the most important thing. Alright, those are my thoughts on the PS5 from Sony. Till next time, bye.